So, good afternoon. I hereby call this meeting to order
Okay, and I'll call the roll. Wendy,
here.
Connie,
Here.
and Kari here. So Anne is not here yet. Okay, and I'm just going to check to make sure I'm not missing anyone in the queue. But I don't see anyone in the queue, so okay. Madam Chair, would you like me to jump in with the re-precincting proposal? The
Sure.
re-precincting
The
proposal.
re-precincting. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kari.
Oh, I think someone may have entered the waiting room. I just have to figure out how to see them. Don't. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So what we talked about after the select board meeting and after our meeting to talk about options, Jill Moonhart and I took another look at the map to see where we could maybe consolidate a little more or compress a little more of the precinct area. And we looked at precinct 1, which was previously in this area here was previously in precinct 5. But we have, and so this is Kai's Road here, and we have this marked as precinct 1 for now. So it seemed like it was logical to move this into precinct 1. And the population did allow us to do that. So we didn't break any population rules in doing that. And then the other area, because we were adding to precinct 1, we looked at is here, which is a little bit of a change. This area here, the Harold Street area, had been moved to precinct 1, as had this area here. And I guess this has always been, or for the last 10 years has been precinct 1 as well. And this is the train station, but there are a few residents listed here, 14 residents. I'm not sure where. So we looked at moving these two into precinct 2 as well. And this is a considerable area here, so that these people could also walk if they wanted to, or at least be closer. And we were able to do that. So those are 2 precinct changes that are now, these changes have been submitted. And I did that before the registrars vote, having talked to Wendy to see if she thought that was likely to be an okay option. Now, this now looks like a little oddity in precinct 5. So without these dark lines, it looks like we have this little protrusion here. I did check with the Census Division, and they said that they have seen other precincts that have similar sort of shapes or protrusions to the shapes that have been approved by the LEDRC. The risk with not having it recommended is that it could allow the LEDRC to come back and recommend something that they want, and we don't have a say over it. So, but it seems like a very minimal risk.
Kari, would you mind just zooming in on that little chunk there, and let's just see what streets are there. Thank you.
Sure. So this is Main Street here. And there are 20 residents here in this block. Let me see if I can note. So this block here has 20 residents, and that allows us to have it contiguous.
Contiguous, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is contiguous.
And then down there is the playground
And then
area,
here's Emerson Playground, Everett Street, Stowe Street.
right? Making it very convenient to vote at Hunt.
Right. Right. So that is the change to the precinct map that I would like to have support of the registrars to then recommend to the select board. So this would then be the final map.
I think what's been accomplished, if they will accept this at the state level as well, is convenience to the polling places, which the pushback, we got last week is understandable for the Canantum area, but I think in some ways that makes it easier for some of these people.
Right. We can't actually move this group into precinct 1 without having to take space away from here, and we can't make precinct 2 any larger because of the population, so it would result in having precinct 5 loop around here.
It's a big balancing act. So
right. Yeah. So I would make a motion that we recommend this precinct map to the select board as part of the re-precincting plan, and the legal description and block precinct list that has been forwarded to them.
Okay.
I second.
All those in favor?
Wendy?
Aye.
Connie?
Aye.
Myself, Kari, aye. Okay, thank you. Now, the second thing, if I may, Madam Chair, the second item on the agenda is the final recommendation of polling locations for the select board. And at the end of last week, I heard back from Jennifer Polito, I think is her last name, who is, and I have to just confirm that. She is the executive director of the Housing Authority. And I talked to her about the possibility of having voting somewhere in Everett Gardens or somewhere in this area for precinct 5. And she thought that was a great idea. And so I'm going to Peter Bulkley Terrace next Wednesday to talk to them about voting. I don't know exactly what area they're suggesting as a polling location, and I have made them aware that it does include the entire precinct, not just the residents, in this area. So, and I've also checked in with Captain Mulcahy to see, what the traffic burden would be, because, because this is the area where one polling location would be. That would then be precinct 5 if it was a viable location, if it was large enough. And then precinct 4 could vote at Hunt Gym. And the benefit of precinct 4 voting at Hunt Gym is that it's central.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I know that they've had large events at Emerson Playground and they've managed the traffic. So it's just a matter of what the traffic management would look like. So what I'd like to do is hold off making a recommendation for the polling locations. I don't think that's part of the re-precincting plan.
Yes. So looking closely at this, they're really across the street from one another.
Yeah, they are. It would be like having 2 polling locations in Hunt Gym, which we were also talking about.
Right. Would these people enter from the Everett Street location? The Everett Street Drive, like the Housing Authority has this building?
I'm not sure where the spaces that they think would be suitable. I'm not sure where that space
Right.
is. So
When are
it
you
might be
meeting?
Everett Street and
Okay.
it might be Peter Bulkley. I
Yeah,
don't know if there's a room in Peter Bulkley.
right. And when are you meeting again, Kari? Friday?
Next Wednesday morning
Or next
at
Wednesday? excuse
10.
me, at 10.
Yeah.
And, yeah, okay, well, that'll be interesting to see what they think and what you see.
Right.
Okay,
Right. Because it would have to be approved.
right, okay,
You'd have to get it certified. So it, you know, and I talked to Anna, who's the recreation director, about Hunt Gym, and she said if you need to use more space than just, you know, the all-purpose room, then I just need to know in advance, so that,
okay.
you know, it would mean reorganizing what they're doing. So there is a gym there, but I'm not sure about that elevator.
Right, and the stairs. They do have
Yeah.
a conference room as you walk in,
Yeah, but that's
but
small.
pretty small.
When precinct 5 was using that conference room, the election workers didn't all fit in there. I know the police officer and the warden
Right.
were often outside the room.
Right,
So
but,
yeah, I'm not sure.
okay. Well, why don't we see how that plays out? Are there any people on this call that have questions? Hi,
Wendy,
Carlin. Hi,
Hi.
Carlin.
Hi, Carlin Reed, 83 Woods End. Wendy, do you think we're getting any blowback from the people in precinct 5 going to a slightly different location? It's not too far from where they used to be, but it'll be a change.
Well, Peter Buckley Terrace and Jim are
They're across the street, but
off the street.
someone who's not paying attention, who is in precinct 5, will go to Hunt Gym, and then the poll workers there will have to say, no, you're supposed to go across the
Right.
street. Is that going to be a problem?
I can see that happening because you and I vote there at Hunt. We're aware. I wonder if we could, well, I think that any of these changes, we'd have to alert the community well in advance of election day in February. But also, it may be that we have to have somebody telling people, or, precinct 5 is over here now, if that was the case, But it's a stone's throw. It's more if the facility works for more people like
Right.
that.
And we can have signs. I mean, ideally, the precinct map will show people, give them an idea of which precinct is theirs.
Mhm.
So if we have a large, laminated poster of the precinct map with a directional arrow of which precinct goes where.
Right. Precinct 4 versus
Then-
precinct 5. and
Yeah.
So I imagine precinct 4 is paying close attention to this. It's because they're the most impacted at this point.
Right.
Um,
Oh, Henry's joined us.
But that's a good question, Carlin. Henry's coming in.
Yeah. So we'll be sending out notice.
Yes.
Okay, so the Peter Bulkley Community Room is the space that they think would be suitable for the election. Community room sounds encouraging. So that means it's pretty much across the street, right? I
Yeah.
think this is Peter Bulkley.
Yeah, I've been in there. It's pretty good size. It has a lot of furniture and stuff in there right now. But yeah, I figured they would recommend the room.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll go over there and check and let the select board know tonight that we're looking at Peter Bulkley as a possible polling location, which would allow then precinct 5 to be at Peter Bulkley, precinct 4 to be at Hunt Gym, but we're not ready to have a vote on that. Because because I have to get confirmation. I mean, we have to make sure we get it certified.
Mhm. For all the right reasons, yeah.
Yeah. So Henry, this is a change since a few days ago, just to bring you up to speed, that Peter Bulkley Terrace Community Room might be an option for a polling location, in which case we'd have precinct 5 voting there, since that's Peter Bulkley residents are in precinct 5. And then precinct 4 would be able to vote at the Hunt Gym
Right across the street.
right across the street. And I have a call into Captain Mulcahy to, see what their recommendation is for managing that. But Emerson Playground has hosted a lot of large events. So I think that traffic is manageable there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's all that parking along the Stowe Street and then on Hubbard Street. Now, I think that they're done with the construction. Well, it doesn't matter because we're talking long term, but that sounds like a really great solution.
Yeah, good.
And
Good.
and Peter Bulkley is very accessible. It has some of its own parking,
Mhm.
and it has a facility for people to drop off and pick up. So
Oh, that's great.
and it kind of shares that parking lot with the Hunt Gym, which is right across the street from the Hunt Gym, where you've got about probably 15, 20 parking spaces.
Yeah. Yeah, and people, voters don't stay for long. They go in, they vote, and they leave. So
Yeah, because the food isn't that great. Okay.
So
So
yeah.
have we solved the other problem, like the West Concord people?
So West Concord, we were not able to solve the problem of having this area included in precinct 2, because if you look at this area here, that's 243 people, and that would exceed precinct 2 population numbers. And then we have these smaller areas. Whoops. Oh, it's really hard to adjust these. We have these smaller areas here, but it would only be one side of the street. So it would only be the inside of this area, and the people on the outside would still have to go to vote where precinct 1 votes. So the only change that we were able to figure out that would work and sort of be contiguous or compacted area is this that was in precinct 1, this area. And so this population number, 180 here and 14 here, we were able to move to precinct 2 so that these people who could potentially walk are in closer proximity to their precinct.
Any thought? I mean, what about the Willard School? Is that a possibility?
For precinct 1,
Yeah, for that area.
well, we have to look at the entirety of precinct 1. So it's this entire area. And we aren't really looking at schools
Yeah,
because there's more concern about voters going into schools.
okay. So it's a
On election day.
security issue?
Yes,
Polling
yes,
issues.
yeah.
The
So
polling issues.
let's just, could you review for me now? Precinct 1, you now have, it's voting where?
We have them now voting at 141 Kais Road.
Okay, Kais Road. And 2 is
Precincts 2 and 3, we have at Harvey Wheeler Community Center.
Harvey Wheeler. And 4 is,
So
4 is
So
projected.
precinct 4 is projected to be at the Hunt Gym.
Hunt. And
And
5
then
at
5 would be
Peter
at
Bulkley.
Peter Bulkley, once we get it certified.
Who has to certify it?
The state, well, if the housing authority is amenable to it, then we need to get it certified by the state. And then the select board, well, the select board has the ultimate decision-making
Right.
as to where.
Okay,
So-
but you have, has this been run by the housing authority yet?
Yes, they are
They should be thrilled.
thrilled, but I just need, they haven't had a meeting to have a vote.
Yeah,
So it's not formally an offer yet.
okay, and that really works very well for them for Everett Gardens as well, doesn't it?
Yes, they're very pleased at the idea. The executive director is thrilled at the idea.
Yeah,
So I'm going there next Wednesday morning at 10 to talk to the residents there.
mhm.
I expect that it will work, but I just don't have, the formal okay from them.
So
It's
what
their
do you,
building.
what is it you're going to want? Are you just going to update the select board tonight, or are you?
No, we need to have a vote on the re-precincting plan. And
Mhm.
I will check with the state because I'm not sure that we have to have the polling locations voted tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, the re-precincting and the polling locations I see as two different things. So I'll just get confirmation from them.
okay,
Or we can just put both 4 and 5 at the Hunt Gym for tonight and then
change it.
move and then change it.
Okay, so you're gonna want to, you're on the agenda for tonight. You're gonna show
Yes.
us this plan and
Yes,
tell us where people are gonna vote and say that you've solved the problem as best as can possibly be solved by human beings, even with the assistance of computer and topology and geography and everything.
yes.
What more could I ask?
I don't know. The other option that we can look at is precinct 1 to have them vote at the townhouse instead of Kai's Road.
Mhm.
That's another sort of open-ended thing because of the, the room, the hearing room is a bigger space. But I don't know if the registrars want to go there. I don't know if the select board wants to go there right now.
Hmm. But, yeah. I mean, that seems to be as good a location as any, doesn't it? Especially, look, what we're really talking about now is probably going to have a lot fewer people going to polling places in the future anyway, right?
Well, once the legislature decides on vote by mail, which they haven't. So for next, for February election, we have absentee voting. We do not have vote by mail in place.
Mhm. And you have early voting, don't you?
No,
No early
No.
voting?
they did not extend it.
Oh, okay.
They didn't extend it beyond December 15th. So
So
it's
it's-
absentee voting or in-person voting. That's all we have for local elections.
Okay, but probably in the future, one way or another, we're gonna have less traffic at polling places,
I believe that, yes.
for better or worse.
And as soon as the select board votes the ballot question onto, or the language of the question to go onto the ballot, that will allow me to then send out the election notice once we have the re-precincting approved by the state. And then on the other side of that notice, we'll put the absentee ballot application. So in effect, encouraging people to vote, because absentee voting is for specific reasons, but
Mhm.
Right, yeah, the traditional things
Yeah.
like you're out of town or you're an
Right.
invalid.
right.
Okay. All right, well, so,
So we have a plan.
seems like it, doesn't it?
So registrars, should we, or Madam Chair, should we vote to recommend precincts 4 and 5 voting at Hunt Gym for now?
I think
Just
that
so
would
that
be
we
a
have
good idea.
the approximate location?
Yes, because we
Okay.
don't have a definitive from the alternative right now.
Bulkley, yeah. But I will speak to that at tonight's meeting, that is a plan.
Okay,
All right. Okay, so I make a motion that precinct 1 votes at 141 Kais Road, precincts 2 and 3 vote at Harvey Wheeler Community Center, and precincts 4 and 5 vote at the Hunt Gym.
okay.
I second.
All those in favor?
Wendy,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
myself, Kari, aye. Okay, great. And we already voted to recommend the precinct map,
Okay.
which moves
Okay,
this
and-
area. I don't know if Henry, you heard before, this area here that shows precinct 1 was in precinct 5. So we voted to move this into precinct 1 so that the people who live on Kais Road can vote at precinct 1.
Yeah, Kai's Road, yeah.
Mhm.
At Kais Road, sorry.
No, and I really appreciate your letting me vote at the Hunt Gym again.
Okay.
That's really all I care about. I can walk to the Hunt Gym to vote. Okay, has this map been sent to the select board?
This is part of the packet.
Okay.
What we did put in the memo was that recommendations on precincts 4 and 5 would be made at the meeting. So
Okay,
we voted, so I will let the board know. I don't know if we'll have a quorum of registrars tonight, but I'll be able to speak to this.
but you actually, I see you noticed a meeting concurrent with the board.
I did, yeah.
And are you gonna make the presentation to the board? Or is Wendy going to do that?
I'm happy to do it, Wendy, if you'd like. But
That
if
would be
you'd like to
great.
do it,
That
okay,
would be great for the screen sharing and all the information you have there that I wouldn't have
Okay.
here. Thank
all
you.
right.
But I will be there on the call.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go through the census updates that I did at the last meeting. So I'll just be speaking to this.
To this, right? Okay,
And the memo also indicates how many voters are affected by these changes. But we'll
Yes.
be sending a notice out townwide so that everyone knows, especially since polling locations are changing for both precincts 4 and 5.
When do you need to what is your real deadline for finalizing this?
We need to submit the select board, the re-precincting plan has to be submitted to the LEDRC at the state by December 15th.
Okay,
But they
so
want it as soon as possible.
okay, so that means the board and the last step in that process before submitting it is the select board voting to approve it.
Yes,
Okay, so, but we could do that tonight, can't we?
yes.
with
If you can do that tonight, I can submit it tomorrow.
Okay,
And I have the language of the vote is the page right after the memo. And then once I have that vote, I can submit that vote with a re-precincting plan to the LEDRC.
you know what might facilitate that? If you were to send just the text of the motion or the vote to Matt Johnson, who is the
Okay.
clerk,
Okay, I will do that.
and he's the one who makes the motions.
okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay,
All
Thank
right, terrific. Thank you.
Thank you. So if there are no other questions or any objections, we can now adjourn this meeting.
Okay,
All those in favor?
Wendy,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
myself, Kari, aye. Okay, see you all tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.